Muslims fundamentally have not clear idea about the Zionism, because the fight is happening, war is happening, and we need to know the nature of the Zionism and what is the ultimate objective of Zionism. Is it only about wiping off the Palestine or something else? We need to know about that. So in general, Zionism seeks to find a Jewish homeland, right, in Palestine. But securing the homeland doesn't mean destroying only or wiping off all the population there. No. It's about deleting, it's about destroying the Muslim unity in a nutshell. Because to secure that state of Jewish state, they need to destroy the Muslim unity. That is the bottom line. That is not my statement. That is the statement of their own declaration. I'll just give through the references. So some quick recap of the history, which is that until the World War I, the Palestine was controlled by the Muslim Empire, which is the Ottoman Muslim Empire. It's for a long time. We know that the Muslim Empire was there, of course in a very small level, but it was there. And the idea of the Muslim Empire, Ottoman Empire, or any Muslim empire like previously, many empires were there, is to give the Muslims the political and civilizational unity. That was the main focus. So Zionists then created a plan to destroy the Muslim unity. Now, by the time of World War I, the Zionist lobby made a strong influence. They created a strong influence on US policymakers. And they agreed with the Britain to start the war against German, right? And German was with the Ottoman Empire. So Muslims was on that side, and they were defeated. And then the start of Israeli state was happening, was conducting. But one of the plans they took, they actually realized that if we take that state and if we stop there, we can be diminished unless the Muslim worlds become united. I mean, when they become united, then actually we cannot achieve that in the long run. That's why they made a plan to make them weak. So divide the countries. So all these small, like Kuwait, Qatar, you can imagine, very small lands. Some of these are big lands. They just divided, and each power, like French, UK, British, US, British, everyone took their own kind of lands. And then they decided in a Balfour Declaration that, okay, this is the state, this is the portion in Palestine that can be started as a Jewish state. But before that, actually Kenya and some of the countries in Africa, that was the plan, to start the Jewish state. Anyway, all these are colonial plan that was happening. And for that plan, in 1922, the Muslim Empire was dissolved. And then for the next 3 decades, Israel was progressing. They started fight, they started massacre and so on to gain the lands of the Palestine. Okay. Now, at the same time, they decided that, okay, somehow we need to stop the Muslim unity in terms of political, in terms of economic and so on, right? And then in 1982, they made a plan. So it's an article. It's called Enon Plan. It's a controversial document published by the World Zionist Organization publication. It's named Kivunim in 1982. So that document suggested that all the Muslim countries should not be united. It is their plan. It is written, published documents. So if they're united, we'll be in trouble. So as a strategy, we need to make them weaken, like weak entity. Possibly if they don't have any military power, this is the best. Otherwise, they must have under economic sanction or limited economical opportunities, limited political opportunities. Probably if we see that the kingship or the kingdomship is better to make them weaken, we can allow that. If we find that democracy, if we maintain the democracy there, that would be harmful, we cannot establish the democracy there. So they became they took strategy selectively. In some countries, they become advocate for the democracy. In some Muslim countries, they become advocate for the oppression, right? We know that strategy. So this is actually came from the Enon Plan in 1982. And then, as a follow-up of that particular document, the war on terror started, right? Invasion of Iraq, based on the false proposition in 2003, destruction of Afghanistan 2001, Syria 2014, and immediately they followed by another strategy. It's called Abraham Accords, in which Israel tried to not only made the other Arab countries weak or small, but try to ally with them. So normalizing the behavior, normalizing their attitude, justifying all the oppression they did in the last 4 decades, right? Whatever land they stole, they tried to justify that. Okay, now, this is an interesting thing, is that the struggle against Zionism, we need to know that, is not simply defending the Palestinians. Rather, it is about regaining the unity of the Muslims and the power that was stripped from the Muslims, like due to the fail of the Ottoman Muslim Empire. And that's why the Muslim unity is always a threat to the Israel. The Muslim unity is always a threat to the Israel. That is why Zionists have committed so many resources and so many campaigns over the decades to make sure that Muslim unity doesn't happen.